Targeting some of the bigger fish in the lake. Oh, they're getting bigger. That one is scary looking. You want a piece of him? We just put a couple waypoints in, graphing around, trying to find some weed clumps that stuck out further than the others from the shoreline and other structure. Circling back now. We got a little cloud cover today, so I don't know if they're going to be super tight in the weeds. And we're going to see if we can extract a couple with the Minnesota mullet. So when I'm fishing the Minnesota mullet, I kind of have different retrieval techniques that I'll kind of go through to see how they're biting. When you're fishing this bait, you're just casting it out, letting it fall towards the bottom to the tops of the weeds, and I'm reeling it right over to the top, just tickling the tops of the weeds. Other times when they want more of a reaction bite, I might move up a size and get it to crash into the weeds and rip it out and get that reaction bite. This bait can work really good with forward-facing sonar because it's going to show up. It's a big bait. So like a lot of times you can use that to kind of identify how the fish are reacting to the different retrievals. So if they're not really going on a straight retrieve and I can see the fish, you know, showing interest but they don't want to bite, I might start adding just a little twitch to get those back feathers moving. Or you can, if you're reeling over top of weeds, it's kind of a reel, stop, and that thing will just go up, crash into the weeds, zoom out, crash back into the weeds, and you'll see them come flying out of the weeds, come eat it. That being said, the Minnesota mullet is a great bait for, you know, you don't need to have forward-facing sonar. You can just bomb it as far as you can and start fishing your retrieve. But like I said, having the forward-facing sonar, you can kind of dial in the retrieve and mimic that when you're not using it. So sometimes I'll be fishing with a couple. There's one. It's a pike. Good sized pike. Crushed it. That's the thing when you're throwing these big baits, is you're not only gonna catch bass, everything wants a little piece of the mullet. So right now I'm using the green bluegill colored mullet. And the reason why I picked this one out, as soon as we got to the access here today, there's a bunch of bluegills right under the dock. And that's right when I knew I was gonna put on this color. It's mostly a green pumpkin. It's got a little bit of blue tinsel on it for a little bit of flash, and then 2 black chicken feathers out the back that are just swimming like that in the whole retrieve. So I'm pretty confident that this is the color to throw today. There's another one. Targeting some of the bigger fish in the lake. Oh, let's get my hands on this guy. Check that out. Just engulfed it. That's a good one to start off on the bass side. To use forward-facing sonar when you're fishing bass out in the vegetation, you're not always looking to see the bass themselves. I'm looking for clumps of grass just like that, and look at all the bait fish over it. Those are bluegills, are just littered across there. So I'm gonna throw this mullet right across that and try to, you know, you think, why would a bass come eat my bait when there's that much bluegills in there? Well, that's when I might kind of put a little action on my bait and try to trigger a bite, because there's a lot of commotion going on in there. That's a good one. Got a little excited there. Oh, come here. Look at that. That's exactly how you want it right there. That time I actually kind of started letting it fall, a couple cranks, kind of fishing a little bit more aggressive, kind of made this one react. Healthy fish. Like I said earlier, I'm fishing the green bluegill color today, and there's 8 total colors in the Minnesota Mullet lineup, with a different variety of bait fish, from perch to bluegill to shad. We got a black color for bullheads. This gives you a variety of different colors to use on any body of water, whether you're fishing clear or dirty water, or different times of the year with different bait fish forages. Oh, they're getting bigger. They are getting bigger. Oh, oh, come here. Oh, look at that one. Are you kidding me? Green bluegill. That one is scary looking. You want a piece of him? Big old melon head. So these Minnesota mullets have a big profile on them. They have a bunch of synthetic hair, along with some tinsels on the side, just not too much, but just enough, and then 2 feathers off the back, 2 kicker feathers that go like this behind the bait. And that's where you get most of the action, is the 2 feathers. And this material is basically just pushing water, and that is what gets the fish's attention. This big bait comes in there, and a big fish is looking for a big meal. So we got sizes from 3/8 all the way up to 3/4. This is the 3/4 size I'm throwing today, and then here's the 3/8. So 3/8 has a little bit smaller amount of hair on it. This is going to be better for probably shallower situations, or if you're trying to catch, you throw the Minnesota mullet in there on a bigger size and they just don't want it, you might want to go to the smaller size. You just have to be a little bit more patient. But this size is also going to come into play when you're fishing smallmouth. It's a perfect smallmouth size, but also a nice bait fish offering. Moving up from the 3/8 ounce is the 1/2 ounce size. This is going to be a really good size for fishing most lakes where you're fishing the weed line and offshore structure that are, between 8 and 12 feet. Moving up from that, we have the 5/8 ounce size. That's also going to be great for from 10 to 15 feet. Today I'm throwing the 3/4 ounce. We're fishing kind of from 12 to 20 feet. So we might get away with fishing a smaller size in that shallower depth. We're kind of bouncing back and forth, so I just want to get down there and get in the strike zone, so I'm fishing the biggest size. Last but not least, one of the most important parts of this jig is a 4/0 Gamakatsu hook on there. I know when I'm hooked up with a big fish, that's game on.